Hello and welcome back to the second series of the Monkeyland podcast. This week we have very special guests, Posh Toast.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I don't know if you just want to go down the line like one at a time and introduce yourself and what you play in the band.
I'm Freddie and I do joint vocals and rhythm guitar.
I'm Phil, I do lead guitar.
I'm Julian, I do joint vocals and drums.
I'm John, I do the bass.
Well, excellent. Thank you for coming on and putting up with the shenanigans.
Setup process was very funny.
So, how would you describe Posh Toast? Like, what is the sound of Posh Toast to somebody that might never have heard it?
I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess, like indie rock sort of, but like the alternative elements, but also like kind of some oldie stuff in there. Like one of our songs is a bit more like a bit surf rocky, and the others are a bit more. One's a bit spacey. Others kind of just Arctic Monkeys. Trying to like keep it broad because obviously we kind of all have our own influences and stuff like that. Yeah. So kind of we'll try and keep them in and try and fit them in.
A mesh of all things indie.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. We try to be the what's
the middleman.
Yeah, the all-purpose band. All-purpose. So get as many gigs as we can.
Basically. So who sort of brings what to it then? Like you mentioned, like surf, rock. Was that something that you consciously went, we want to write a surf rock tune, or was that just something that you have played before?
I think it all just. I think that just came from just like playing it. I think it's just like we brought in the song and like found a riff to it, and then I think it just all kind of just came naturally as that, and then we all like the idea of just kind of having that sort of style with it. Yeah. I think it like worked with that song, especially kind of that song in particular about like kind of going on holiday and kind of. I think it worked quite well with that sort of style.
So would you say that you sort of like to match the concept generally? The concept will match the sound, as in like.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a really sort of on the nose question. Actually thinking about it.
I think it happened naturally. I mean, like with your song, kind of.
Yeah.
It's all about. I don't know what it's about. You know probably better than me too.
This is a safe space, you don't have to say what it's about.
No, but I think,
the words.
yeah, generally it kind of matches it at least mood-wise, not necessarily lyrically, but there's an element like melodically, I think, where, on Flight, you just kind of unleash yourself and like go all out like 60s sort of surf rock tune, and I'm just kind of like in the mellow end of things, trying to talk about, failed romance and whatnot.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice mix of things though, because Julian, you drum and sing at the same time. It's quite a niche, but it's a cool niche, and I think it fits well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How do you find? Do you prefer using the headset mic, or do you prefer using a similar setup to this? I'm sure.
Why does this seem like a really loaded question for that reality?
No, that's a very good question actually. I've found over the recent couple of weeks that have passed that the headset mic, to be completely honest with you, has been doing my head in because it just keeps moving, and I can never find the right angle to like actually project properly. Whereas if a sound engineer were to put an actual mic, sort of set it up like solidly, that would work a lot better, I find.
Yeah, fair. It's one of the things that we have to, because we also have a singing drummer in our band, but unfortunately we also swapped then play guitar.
Yeah.
So trying to find that balance between what works from the sound engineer's point of view and then what actually is comfortable to play.
Have you ever had it where it nearly falls off?
Oh, it has fallen off. Yeah, it's been heavily unstable. Yes.
Have you got any other horror stories from gigs? Like, what's been the worst experience that you've had?
We played this one.
With this like really shitty promoter called.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was.
It
It was terrible.
We played this like one gig, and it was like it wasn't even a gig. It was like a battle of the bands. But it was like, have you ever been to that? I can't remember. It's like the Roxy Games Room or something like that.
Boom Battle.
Roxy
Ballroom.
Battle. The one like it was the one that's like under.
It's by Lime Street, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like kind of under like Lime Street, and they had like a battle of bands there, but like they didn't know how to set up a gig because obviously they all like specialise in like freaking bowling.
It's a weird crossover.
We went there, we arrived, and they had like two amps. One was like a fairly like decent amp, and the other was like this like 10 watt like Marshall amp. And because they had like everything was like coming out this one like extension lead. I couldn't plug in my like pedal board because it would like blow a fuse.
We came into the venue and they said you can't both use your pedal boards because it might trip the electrics. So they were everything was dependent on just one like electric line.
Like the Marshall amp just like everything like to 10. The sound of shit, and you still couldn't even hear it. And it was just like it was one of those ones though. I think like afterwards you just like gotta like laugh about it and just be like, well, glad we did it. You know?
You have to have those gigs to realise what the good ones are.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to say, oh, well, it won't get any worse than that one.
Yeah, well,
figure out
until the next time. Well, until the next time.
It was nothing. The worst bit was like we had those amps, but none of the amps were mic'd up. They were just like pointed at the judges about 10 meters away. And then we couldn't hear anything. We had like no monitors, nothing.
Yeah,
Julian wasn't allowed to sing because the microphone would feedback because it was so close to the PA.
We were changing our set like 5 minutes before we were on, just like trying to like be like, okay, what we're like, because it was, to be fair, it was for money. Like we were doing, it was like a cash prize or something. Like what was it, like 300 quid or something.
Yeah,
so it would have been nice, but you do what you can for a bit of grafting.
Yeah, fair enough. That does seem weird though that
place would put on about them.
Well, that place would offer a cash prize, but then not have the funds
Yeah.
to make
equipment.
it.
Yeah.
It does seem strange. Where's been the best place you've played then? What's been like sort of individually? Where do you think you've each gotten the best sound out of your instrument, or just had the most fun?
Ooh. Where have we played? With the
Jacaranda
Jack,
a million times.
Yeah, Jacaranda way too many times.
A million times.
We live in that basement.
We played EBGBs for one of your gigs, and then obviously the Quarry. And personally, I just like any gig at the Quarry. It's just like it's a great evening.
It sounds fantastic.
It's far away, but it's just so fun to just be there.
Quarry has my heart. It's just such like a nice, cute little venue, isn't it?
It is.
Like run by that one guy, and like it's lovely.
There's 3 of them.
Sorry. I already see one of them, but no, it's love it there. It is a ball late to go, but I think EB's is probably my favourite venue. I think out of what we've played, I think like EB's and also like to play because it feels like a nice little. It feels like a cabin, doesn't it? Like so it's like next best thing.
EBGB's the B-Tech cabin.
Yeah, we've always said if the Quarry was just a little bit closer, it would be
the venue.
Venue, 100%.
Just like the sound guy is great, and they've just upgraded all their lights and everything, so now
It looks
cool.
phenomenal. Like,
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm being so
there's also
cool.
stuff from
November,
that Saturday gig. The RB's played. It's the same setup.
Yeah. Anyway. Outside of Posh Toast, you're all sort of very talented musicians. So I just wanted to.
You chucked in a little cheeky sauce on before that.
So obviously, John, you play with G&T, who are supporting Poker coming up
Yes.
on their tour.
Mm-hmm.
Phil, you do some stuff with Georgia Johnson.
Yep.
Freddie, you play bass, which is something that shocked us the first time we saw you playing bass. Like, oh, fair enough. And then Julian, I found the band, but I can't figure out how to pronounce it.
It's pronounced Sila.
Sila. I was going to say Cilia, and that was going to really be
Good, close enough.
You would
Do
have
know
looked
what?
very
silly. Very
zing.
Very
They're all
great.
weak. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. For me, the thing that sort of struck me about the G&T gig, like, first of all, it's with Sound Music, and it's part of a tour. So it's like, oh, that's really. How did that sort of come about? Where was that band? How did you join that band and everything like that?
Well, like, as for the gig, I have no idea. I think Alex does most of like the finding gig stuff. He's like really good because he does like gigs almost like every night, just like solo stuff, and like so that's more his like area of expertise. As for like joining, I think Alex and Henry, it was just them. I think at the end of first year, and I think they were like looking for a bassist. Alex knew me in like a first year group project thing, and he was like, oh yeah, this guy plays bass, and so he just hit me up, and I said yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Cool. Yeah, and that's how it is. Yeah, we're doing good. We've got like a lot of originals, but we've only like played one gig so far. So yeah, the next upcoming gigs will be really fun.
Massive.
Yeah.
Where is that gig with Polka?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
He could tell you, but he'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Secret.
But Angus is
Yes.
revealed.
Yeah. I did do some research beforehand. Don't worry. This isn't just.
He knows more
Keep
than
it
you.
professional.
Yeah, no, he does actually.
Would you like to know?
Phil, playing with Georgia is a lot. Is a lot less aggressive music than Posh Toast.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. It's a nice contrast
Yes.
because I have like for my personal music taste, there's kind of like the Arctic Monkeys and Sports Team and stuff, but then I quite like the sort of more chill stuff. Like there's a band called Delights, and they have just really nice like chorus guitar melodies, stuff like that. So I can kind of put that style of my music into Georgia's stuff.
Yeah.
So it's definitely nice to have that contrast.
Do you find that any of it sometimes creeps into the Posh Toast songwriting process? We go, oh, maybe we should do a slow one. And
Yeah.
then have more like a really nice melodic guitar line or something.
Yeah, there's one we've just written, and it's quite chill. It's got like a nice clean like delay intro. That's definitely something that's come from maybe a little bit of Georgia.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can definitely overlap.
Yeah, cool. And then Freddie, we'll come to you next. You play in a myriad of bands.
Yeah. God.
Myriads. What
I
word?
know. So
out his
I
thesaurus
today.
today.
I didn't even know if that word was the correct word to use. I just thought.
None of us are gonna fuck it.
No, that's the resident English student. Is that the correct usage of the
You
word?
know what? That was perfect.
Excellent.
10 out of 10.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Yes. So you play bass with Izzy Metal
I
in
do.
a couple of projects.
Yeah, well, so we kind of, the band that we like kind of play with is called Sir Zebra. And so, but like we kind of, when we play with Isabel, we play as kind of Isabel, you know, because, you know, people see Sir Zebra and they're like, oh, you know. But like if they see Isabel Metal, they're gonna be like, okay. But so we kind of, we kind of like kind of merging them somewhat because she has her own thing, like recording, like because obviously her style ends up being quite different to what we play live. So when we play live, it's sort of like, well, I see it as Isabel Metal featuring Sir Zebra.
Yeah.
And that's fun. That's like completely different to Posh Toast because it's kind of a bit more soul-y, a bit more funky. And that's just kind of fun to play, you know, fun to kind of like do something different. And also like it's nice to kind of take a back seat sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, I like being centre of attention, God knows, but
Shameless plug.
but it's nice, and also like, you know, she's great. You know, her songs are like immense, and you know she's kind of doing bits, so it's good to like kind of be a part of that.
Yeah. We spoke to her a couple of weeks ago on right where you are sat currently.
What a
And she
privilege.
said,
Wow.
she said that the songs that she writes when she's playing guitar
Yeah,
are all in the same key. Is this true?
this is true. They're all in A.
They're all in A.
They're all in A, which makes my life a lot
All in A,
easier.
or-
I know it's a brilliant key, but it makes it easy to like learn stuff because it all just starts in the same place, and
Yeah.
also easy to like transition between stuff.
Fair enough.
But I think I remember she saying that's because when she used to write like on the you know, on like the kind of, you can play like keyboard with like the keys of like the kind of the Mac, so but like so it's just easy. She always just like gravitates towards that. But no, A is the place to be.
And then another project of yours, not to take the light away from anyone else, I will come on to everyone, don't worry. But Tow Truck, which is sort of a different, completely different thing.
Yeah, that came from just we had the idea for it. We kind of stemmed around because Ruben, he likes his samples and stuff, so we like bring them in. And that one's just a bit weird. That, to be fair, that band's just a bit of like a laugh because it's all a bit weird, and none of us like kind of really kind of have like an idea for what it is, and it's just like, so it ends up just being whatever we want it to be. But that one's nice because it's like kind of it's a chance to do something different again. Like, you know, using like samples and stuff isn't really something that I'm kind of well versed at, especially like live. So like kind of doing that and trying to like do the pads actually is a lot harder than you think it'd be.
Yeah.
It's good to have those bands though. If you have something that's quite out of the box and it's kind of like more creative side, then it kind of, you can bring stuff into your other bands with that as well.
Well, that's it. It's like a different it's just like a completely different way of like kind of looking at or like writing songs and stuff. Like when I write with like Ruben and stuff, like kind of approach it completely different to how I write by myself, and that's completely different to how I write with like Posh Toast. So it's kind of like nice to have that variation, I guess.
Fair enough. So, Julian,
Yep.
Cilia. Did everybody get that I got that right? What sort of music is that? Is that vastly different to Posh Toast, or is it?
It's quite different in that we've lent into the heavier kind of approach. So we're more of I'd call us an alternative metal kind of grunge band. So it kind of encompasses all these styles. And that's a very different project for me in that I'm like a proper frontman now. So there's no drums involved. It's just me centre stage, trying to impersonate Freddie the best I can. No, but it's been it's the most recent one I've been involved in. I think we started in, I want to say October, so it's not really been that long, but we finally got into writing because the process of how that came about was that there are two very talented guitarists on the course, so Ethan Goddard and Ethan Duddy, who happen to be my housemates as well, who came up to me and said, we're forming a metal band with Chris, who you may know. It's one of the students, and they were looking for a singer. And at first I was like, are my vocal cords going to be able to withstand all of this and survive a set if we ever come to do one? And so, after a couple of weeks of just reflecting on that, I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, why not? I'm just going to join it. And it's been a really fulfilling experience, especially creatively in terms of, like, because I write lyrically in kind of the spur of the moment. It's not something that I just come to a rehearsal with and I'm like, I've got a batch of such and such lyrics that I can apply to a song. It happens like that sometimes, but I feel like especially with Sila, it's a very visceral kind of very personal thing. So it just comes about like that. And so we've not got any gigs lined up as of yet. We're still trying to build our repertoire, especially with regards to original material. But I'm very excited for the future of that band. Yeah.
Do you feel like there is much of that sort of metal scene that you can break into in Liverpool, or do you feel like there's another place that you might have to go to try and get into that?
Very good question. I've not seen many acts that kind of fit that bill, except from one band that Posh Toast have actually played alongside with, called Maggie Witch. Very, very talented. They kind of fit the kind of same thing, alt metal, grunge kind of genre. But I do feel like it's a very limited scene in Liverpool. I feel like you could break out if people actually notice you, because Maggie Witch, like, God knows, ever since we've played with them, they've had like a shed load of gigs. It's been quite incredible, actually. But yeah, I think it also depends on the audience that you want to reach out to, because obviously metal's kind of a niche, if you will, to most people. So I think, just kind of put yourself out there and try and see if people kind of latch onto it, because there is a big underground scene, I feel, that could potentially
Do you think it's one that's
that.
missing from this city, though? You don't see
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it could use more exposure.
there's
Definitely.
a gap
yeah.
in the market.
Yeah,
That's where Cilia comes in.
There we go.
Yeah, anybody listening? Yeah. No, I would agree that obviously you've got a lot of Mersey beat in this city for some reason.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder what exactly. And then there's a lot of indie, because everybody's an indie band.
Everyone likes
There's a weird, like, a folk scene. There's a really strong folk scene, and there's a really strong funk and jazz scene.
Yeah.
But then the sort of like heavier guitar-based stuff, I feel like there isn't as much of a scene here for, which is something.
So calling out all metal.
Yeah, calling out all metal.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it has recently been 1 year of Posh Toast. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, it was pretty much when we started uni. We got put together as a pop performance band. Pretty much how every band in Liverpool starts.
Do not give Simon stuff.
I didn't mention the name. No, and then we kind of just, for the first semester, we just were a pop performance band. Like, we just did what the course wanted us to do. Yeah. And then we came back after Christmas and we're like, let's start like writing and actually like try to get gigs and stuff. And then we wrote In the Morning, which was the first one we did. I think there was one time we had a seminar where no one turned up apart from us 4, so we just had 2 hours of us just writing the song.
I love it when that happens.
It was great.
Class.
And then just wrote the other 2 that are in the EP, and then got some gigs. It's just kind of gone on from
Got a
there.
gig with you guys, our first ever
Oh yeah.
our freshman gig.
Yes.
Guys.
I think that came about because who was it? Did we just go? We need some second or first year bands.
Let's just pick one of them.
No, we went
went-
to a second year seminar. I remember speaking.
Yeah,
to
I
you,
do. Yeah, because you were like, we were talking about how we wanted to get like a royal blood sound. And I remember distinctly coming up. It's like, oh mate, it's all in the drums.
Well, of course, I'll say
Of course you
that,
say
yeah.
that.
I think
Charlie's standing there with his fuck off pedal board. It's all in the drums.
it's all in the drums.
I remember that day we had we joined your seminar or something, and we saw you for the first time. I was like, Jesus Christ, like we're gonna have to support these guys, you know.
Yeah.
Stop it, you.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
So you mentioned In the Morning then, which is the title of your EP
Yep.
that you released. When did you release it? It was a couple of
A week
weeks ago.
last Friday. Yeah.
Week last
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah, very cool. What was the sort of? So was that the title track sort of one of the first that you wrote together, or was it?
Yeah, it was the In the Morning, which is the actual like only new song on the EP. Like I said, that was the first one we wrote, and it's very, very different to the other 2. So we kind of thought that one needs to be the forefront of the EP.
Yeah. Who did the art? Because I think that's one thing that I always enjoy about your singles and everything.
So that's our friend Daisy. I think she's doing a degree in fine art. So we messaged her and we said, would you like to do the EP art? So she did Flight 534 first, and we're like, yeah, this is amazing. Sold. Sold. It was like exactly. It was like we gave the idea, she came back, and it was really good. And then In the Morning, we said, oh, we just want like a bed and a window. She came back 2 hours later. It was like almost perfect. We just said just this, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It didn't take a long time to get the art because she just got it spot on straight away.
Fair enough.
It's good having people that do good things.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say it, Joel, but yeah. Who wrote the songs then? Is it a very collaborative process in Posh Toast, or is it sort of someone will come with an idea like this is my song and you can add your bits to it?
I think it is. You just said 2 things. I just said yes. I think I remember In the Morning, you had the chords or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then I think that one just like had the chords and that just built up from there. And then you came up with like the lyrics on the spot, and like they just worked. I remember I think Peacock and Flight, both cases where I came in with perhaps like a chordy riff or something like that. Like I think I had the rhythm of like the dun 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 dun, but then Phil like just came up with like the riff, and I was like perfect, yeah. So in those instances, well, not all instances, yeah, it was quite like collaborative and stuff like that. Like I think with like lyrics, like me and Julian kind of keep them like we work on them ourselves. Like, we haven't like really worked lyrically together.
Yeah.
Which maybe we should.
Yeah, it's a shame we haven't.
Yeah.
Could definitely bring something cool, I think.
Definitely. But in terms of like the actual musicality, like definitely, yeah, it's kind of quite a collaborative aspect and quite collaborative process.
Yeah. And you recorded them all at the uni, did you?
Yeah.
Who helped you with that? Or was it sort of all yourselves, or?
No, it was Lucy.
Yeah, Lucy McQuillan, shout out to her.
Shout out to her. She's amazing.
Brilliant producer.
She's really great at like doing kind of that sort of style, and you know she's just on it with like everything. Like she's so busy and like kind of gives you her time, and like she's amazing. So shout out Lucy.
Yeah.
How long were you in the studio for to do this EP?
In total, it's like
Long.
a couple of weeks, really.
Yeah,
Couple weeks.
It
was a couple months.
it was like the actual like from start to finish, it was quite long. But I think like I remember like I think it took like didn't take long to do each part. I don't think.
Did you do sort of quick sessions?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
kind of did
Yeah.
like, you know, like 4 hours in like one evening, just like kind of bashed out like the guitar parts and stuff like that, and bashed out the bass. But like John's a one take.
Yeah,
wonder.
John's a one-take wonder.
John's a one take wonder, and like we only had to do a second one just to have a backup. So like doing the bass is like this take. So
Yeah, thank you.
Is that a compliment or not? Like,
I mean,
I'll take it as a compliment. Yeah.
as a bass player.
I can appreciate it.
I do find that sometimes we've been recording with bands, and you set all these lovely mics up on the drum kit. It's like, oh, brilliant! You know what? We're gonna have like 3 hours recording drums,
Yeah.
changing stuff. The drummer comes in, does it in one take. Like, that's half an hour of my life I'm never getting back. But yeah.
No, it's been good. And also, like, I'd never recorded anything before, so it was like quite a nice like learning experience, like kind of doing it, like just going from like part I found like most rewarding was like from kind of conception to like release, like never like done all the way through. So I kind of found an opportunity to do it. It's just like kind of
it's satisfying.
yeah, especially like when you kind of hear that part and like the little inflections that you kind of like did, you know, it's kind of especially like to hear on Spotify, like, you know, out of the world, and also like the radio.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
yeah.
Congratulations. Who played that again? Was it Merseyside or was it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
BBC Merseyside. We submitted it to introducing, and then I was just enjoying an evening, and I'd still obviously enjoyed it when I got an email and it said
Played it on the radio.
Played it on the radio.
God damn it.
Song's ruined. No, it was I just got an email and it said we've played it, and I was just sat there just like,
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
thing. Like, you don't find everyone's like, oh, I was with like some mates and stuff, and they were like, why didn't you tell us? And I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
yeah, there was no warning. They sent the email like as soon as the song had finished.
Yeah.
Because obviously when
I
you
think they do it before, wouldn't you? That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice to hear it live.
When my stuff got played at home, they went, "Oh yeah, we'll be playing your song between 5 and 6. Good luck." So I just sat there for an hour going,
Listening to
Not
shit
this one.
Bristol radio.
"Not this one." It's just the Wurzels for an hour and a half.
It's also the good luck. Like,
Yeah.
hope it goes well. Hope people like it.
Yeah.
Break a leg.
This could make or break your career. No, it's not. It's just one guy on a Sunday afternoon going, "All right, my love, we're going to be playing some tracks for you today." Yeah.
Angus.
I guess Snowden. Yeah.
This is automatic.
What do you think of Fish, Freddie?
Well, I think they're cool. I think it'd be sick for fish.
I wasn't expecting you to take the question seriously. Like,
I don't like seafood though.
I don't like seafood.
So
No, we don't mean
Come on.
fish as in to eat. We just mean fish in general.
fish in general, like, they're
the
pretty-
aquatic theme.
they're
Thoughts?
quite cool. I think, yeah, they got it sorted, haven't
To be fair. John, what's your opinion?
I think seafood's good. I really like fish, but I think like in terms of like themes, I think they fit well in like a bathroom.
We're on to interior design.
I
like it.
Yeah.
fish in the
Do you have a
bathroom.
favourite aquatic
That's a
creature?
great saying.
Uh,
Fish in the bathroom.
I guess I'd say salmon because I mean they taste great. Like
Fair.
yeah, salmon.
We're getting hung up on the eating part here.
Sorry.
Julian, if you had to trust a fish to look after your children, which fish would it be?
My God.
I know the answer to this. There is a correct
There's a right
answer.
answer.
Yeah.
It's an open-ended question.
Hold on,
Julian,
hold
don't
on.
worry
If you guys think there's a right answer, I'm feeling like it's nationality based. Am I getting the right hang of it? Yeah.
I think it's from a quite worldwide thing.
The best fish ever.
Not the best fish ever. You getting the question, Nick?
To look after your
Safest
children.
fish.
To look after your kids. There is a
Safe.
correct
Damn it, what's it called? I'm just gonna go instinctively with like a whale shark, just because they're.
a shark.
Whale shark.
No, as in no. Hear me out.
It's around
Whale shark, just the like microscopic plankton, right? So they're just gonna like chillax and be like, you know, swim next to the children and whatnot.
We have thought about this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
this
have had
is
conversations about this in practice.
no, definitely. It didn't just take me like 3 minutes to come up with an answer.
I'm interested to know what you
Yeah,
think
what
the
do you think,
correct
Moses?
answer is.
Nah, I'm really worried I'm gonna get it wrong.
Right, on
now.
3, I've got one in my head and you've got one in your head.
Is
We're gonna
it
say it.
from a particular
No,
film?
no. I know. Just 3, 2, 1.
Stingray.
It literally has poison in it.
Killed Steve Irwin. What do you mean?
No, they teach fish about the sea. Have you not seen
Ah.
the documentary?
Yeah. No, that wasn't.
I was
I'm not sure that's.
I was just thinking of Finding Nemo. to be honest.
Yeah, no.
There was a moment of silence where you had everyone fooled there. No, Stingray in Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
He's the school bus.
That's true.
That's why he looks
That is
after
true.
the kids. Come on, people.
Yeah.
No, oh, it's not fair.
Phil, Shark's Tale or Finding Nemo?
Finding Nemo.
Quite fair. It is a classic. But I do
Shark's
think
Tale though.
Shark's Tale is
Shark's
underrated.
Tale's Shark's
Although
Tale.
I don't think I've ever been more scared of something in my life than the scuba diver in Finding Nemo.
Yeah,
fair
fair point.
Terrifying.
Fair
To
point.
be fair. Right, well, Posh Toast, I've reached the end of my line of questioning, so we have this final sentiment to leave you with. It's
never the
always
end of the
same,
line of
mate.
questioning.
Leave me alone. My entertainment technique is incredible. I just want to. We're going to work our way down the line,
Right.
and you're going to tell us your ideal meal deal choice.
Oh, dear.
The best thing at £3.40.
Are any of you GFMs?
Gluten free.
No one knows what
Well, it's my duty
Yeah,
to
I
make
don't
it a
know
thing.
Everyone will know.
Oh, that's what I'm going to get
no
Lauren
context.
for
I'll
her
use
birthday.
GFM.
Just a gluten-free loaf of bread.
Gluten-free musician is it?
No, I'm
No
not.
gluten-free.
No.
No, as a Frenchman,
That's
I can't
rare.
do
Yeah,
GFM.
if you were, you'd be fucked, wouldn't you? Alright, meal deal. I like. See, I'm more of a pasta man when it comes to meal deal.
Yes.
I know it's like some people aren't, but I definitely am. I'd say the tomato and feta. I think it is. Yeah, I like
One
that.
in the square one,
Yeah.
not the long one.
No, not the long ones.
No,
They
no.
suck. But that one.
I think that's harsh.
No, the tomato. It was the cheese one. The tomato and cheese one. I hate, but it's a crisp. I've been fucking with the big hoops, like the hula hoops.
How tiny is
And just like a Red Bull, probably.
Oh God!
I know.
Fair.
After that, energized.
What about you, Phil?
Well, I'm vegetarian, so my options are limited to
Ah,
either cheese and
a
onion or egg
BFM.
mayo.
Nice.
Or if I'm
You're a
going to
good-
actually give an interesting answer. So if you go to Tesco, you can get like a vegetable samosa. So I might have to go with that
Ooh.
rather than everyone thinking I'm weird for eating egg mayo. So I would go vegetable samosa, pickled onion monster munch, and a Pepsi Max cherry.
Have you not doubled in the plant chef range in Tesco?
I've had the all day breakfast and it was pretty decent,
It's pretty good.
but
Try the wraps.
I don't think I have.
Hummus and falafel one. It's very nice. Try that. Anyway.
He knows fucking everything about meal deals.
Joel is a meal deal connoisseur.
You gotta be. To answer questions.
Yeah, true. To be a subject matter expert.
Yeah, who are you to ask the question? Could be Joel.
I should just let Joel do it. I apologise. Right, next, Julian.
Right, I'm more of a rap person myself, so I'd go. It's a newly released one actually. The Thai-inspired chicken curry one. It's absolute
yeah.
class. It is class. In terms of snacks, I do have a big sweet tooth, so it's just kind of like spur of the moment. But I'd say you can't go wrong with like a Kit Kat, can you?
That's very true.
Chunky or normal?
Ah, chunky all the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Right answer.
Yeah, and then in terms of drinks, I always get Starbucks, man. I don't know why. It's just like that caramel macchiato one just hits the spot, you know.
Fair. I always get them because they're the most expensive drink.
Yeah.
I
I do that. Like,
got a rinse,
scams.
got a rinse through for
Yeah.
everything they're worth.
There you go.
Stick it to the man with my club card.
And then finally, John.
I don't think I'm gonna be shunned here, but I don't think I've ever gotten like a meal deal before from
How does
Tesco.
this keep happening?
Yeah, no, I've always got them like separately.
John, disappoint me, my friend.
I've been missing out, yeah, no. But I think, as I think for like the main meal, there's like these sandwiches, like bacon and chicken, I think. Oh, okay, that. As for the snack,
As much meat as possible.
yeah, absolutely, gotta get the protein. Then I've got like, I think just like a Mars. That's just like my go-to, and then like just like a Monster as well. If I was to have a meal deal, yeah.
So a highly caffeinated band.
You lot bounce off a fucking wall.
That's why you're so high energy.
Yeah, the energy makes
Well, it's
sense.
no
6'5".
other way to play peacock unless
Yeah.
you're like on
Yeah, exactly.
6 Red Bulls down.
Exactly. Well, thanks for coming on, and thanks for putting up with
Thanks
us.
for having
and
us.
coming out of
Thanks
this
for
space.
Pleasure, lads.
We've had Posh Toast. Thanks for watching and listening wherever you get your podcast, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.